Hello and welcome everyone to the 8th edition of College Fair Live. I'm Arjun Seth. I'm the director of the event and at Brand. It's been a pleasure just seeing this whole engagement and love from so many people who attend our fairs regularly and parents, counselors. Thank you so much for supporting our efforts. Today is really almost the anniversary for our College Fair Live idea. Our next fair, which is August, will pretty much coincide with the date of our first fair. Uh, and this session is something which is a highlight of College Fair Live. We really want student voices to be heard in the audience, and of course, kids who can come and speak on the panel, are brave enough to speak on the panel, share their trials, tribulations of this whole 1 year of COVID. I know it's been a very difficult, trying year for so many people. Wish you all the best to recover, cope, stay safe, and be healthy. Also, just to let everyone know, this year might be a bit different, and I'm hearing sounds of hope in terms of what colleges are thinking and how they're reopening, planning safety, health precautions, and protocols in place. They've learned a lot from the past year, so it'll be interesting to see campuses in India, residential campuses in India and abroad, offer a fuller collegiate experience to everyone. Just to just to add, today's session is really special because I'm delighted to be reconnecting with our past students this past year. Ideally, we would have met them face to face at our office, but most of our engagement was online, and this has been unprecedented for us too. But I think adapting and working with kids online and virtually uh, had its pros and cons, but finally we realized actually a lot many more pros. So having said that, let me introduce the topic and also introduce our panel. Topic, as you know, is profile building, but it's such a loaded word. I really don't like profile building as a phrase. It's really about finding who you are, exploring your intellectual interests, discovering a social fit in terms of while you do college research, understanding your college choices from a perspective of who you are as a person, what values and experiences define you, the kind of people you really want to be inspired or challenged by. And it's so much more than just what profile building really captures as a phrase. Uh, to introduce our first, not call a speaker, I think we're calling it more of a conversation after my initial questions. I think we'll just make it fairly open-ended. So Aryan Sukhadia is a student at Jakarta Intercultural School in Indonesia, and he's signing in from Indonesia, I'm guessing. So it's pretty late in the evening, or it's roughly 1.5 hours. Not so late actually. So hi Aryan, and my first question to you is, of course, introduce yourself in a fuller way. I love all the math and the teaching that you do, and the webcomics and crazy poetry and jokes that you have. But and that kind of summarizes your introduction. But more than that, there's lots more to you. After telling us a little bit about you, I really want you to focus on how you used this 1 year and you applied and got into Stanford, which is a big deal, to really go in depth and in deeper inside you to discover your intellectual interests. And then we'll cover the extracurricular with the rest of the panel, and then we'll go back to you.
All right. I'm Aryan, and basically my interests are summarized in STEM. I'll be looking to major in mathematics, and but I also have interests in physics and a little bit in philosophy and other stuff like that. I'd say uh, over the past year, I think one of the main things that I managed to pull off that sort of helped me like get in somehow was that a lot of projects that I had started were teaching projects, right? Because education is something that I'm very passionate about. As you know, both a global issue and sort of being a teacher is something I want to be in the future as well. I started a lot of teaching projects pre-COVID, and once COVID hit, like a lot of that was obviously just shut off because I was working with a lot of children in person and doing science experiments with them, computing lessons, math lessons, and that all just came to a halt. So what I did is I transferred a lot of those things um, to online platforms and found a way to sort of keep them running. So like I put a bunch of revision resources for physics online. I created slides I used to teach at the school math club. I created slides for competitive mathematics. That also I put online on websites. And as well as creating collaborative blogs for people interested in the subjects to read about stuff. So I think you don't have to do something. I didn't really do any insane mathematical research. I did like some stuff at Ross Math Camp and stuff, but I think as long as you show your passion and interest in not only your academics, but like what sort of community good you want, what sort of community impact you want to do, and you show that okay, you're trying your best to adapt to situations, then I guess that's all that it takes.
Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up. But the few things which I noticed while working and understanding how you think and work was your passion for math and how deeply you sort of explored that even during this very tough year. So all the Olympiads which you've done in the past, and even your extended essay topic in IB, for people who don't know or not familiar, the IB curriculum has high-level courses and standard-level courses. And doing a math HL is a big deal. It's definitely a college credit giving sort of course. So, and even the research you did for the Hong Kong Young Scholars Program and all of that. So, and the Ross program. Why math, and how did you explore it during this year?
Well, I think mathematics, just because I was sort of interested in STEM, since a young age, and I love physics and science and all that stuff, and I was very interested in it. And I honed in on math in my later years, just because I started to find the experimental side of science quite difficult when I moved into high school. So those lab reports and doing the setting up equipment and stuff, I found that like really tiresome, and like I wasn't that good at it. But what I was good at was the logical reasoning part that science required, and of course mathematics is nothing but logical reasoning. So I think I honed in on that. And another part, as you said, I think you mentioned my Olympiads. So my school did a bunch of math competitions, and I just joined them, and I found them really fun. I didn't really do it from a perspective of profile building or anything. I just enjoyed doing the math competitions. So I kept doing more and more, and the more I started it from like 8th grade, and the more I did, the better I got and stuff. And so I got into stuff like the British Mathematical Olympiad and the American Invitational Math Exam. So yeah.
Fantastic. Let's move on. Prisha, welcome, and it's great to see you after a few months.
Hi.
And so, Prisha, you went to Modern Barakhamba. Hopefully, graduation's over, and it was sadly, I think, online from everyone, or just an email from maybe the principal or the director. That's a big change, and I feel hopefully college will be different, and you'll have a great graduation. So finally, I think when you were choosing colleges, and I noticed that how economics was always on top of your mind, and then doing those interesting research projects with some of our team members, then also applying to business schools which offer financial economics and various other sort of serious courses in economics. How did you think about business eventually, and things that you got involved with it to sort of pursue your passion even while you're in high school, which was related to leadership, business? Tell us a little bit more. That'll be fun. And also introduce yourself.
So hi, I am Trisha. I'm from Delhi, and I'll be attending the W School of Business at Carnegie Mellon this fall. So when I enrolled in Ed Brand, I was very confused about what I wanted to do. There was always a choice between economics and business, and I was inclining towards eco. But so this entire application journey took an unexpected turn, and I ended up studying business. But it started with my project, which I did with Ed Brand on behavioral economics. My mentor suggested me to read a book, and I think that got me thinking, and I realized that while I do have an interest in economics, I see myself in more of a management or marketing field by using insights from fields like behavioral economics. to help businesses become more socially responsible. And yeah, the application process makes you ask yourself so many questions. There are so many aspects to consider that it really helps you streamline what you see yourself doing in the future. And I think that was one thing which was very important for me and helped me make the right choice for myself.
Great. And the other thing that rounded you off, and I felt that you took business, but you also connected with your mom, who's a cancer survivor, and then she had this health food startup idea, and then you sort of almost became a co-founder. How was that journey, and is it continuing? Is it something that you're passionate about even now?
Oh, yes. So we started the superfood business with my mother before the pandemic, and we were really looking forward to begin and everything. But in March, because of the pandemic, all the operations came to a shut, and we couldn't even start before, like, we had to stop before it even started. But gradually, I think it made me realize how anything can change, and it make us accustomed to the digital world as it should be. I think in the coming years, everything's going to be digital, so it helped us make that transition much earlier, and it definitely did catalyze my inclination towards business, because earlier I was choosing economics, but I realized that if this is something I want to do, if working with my mother or with anyone in such a field like superfoods or just healthy living, then I should just maybe study it at a college level as well.
Fantastic. At EdBrand, what we also do is we have clubs for each of the broad heads. So for STEM, we have the physics, math, and for business and economics, there's an activity that we keep doing, conduct master classes and simulated stock market challenges and other things. So students should get involved in extracurricular activities, and many are available online. And there's a list of competitions we can help you with, or even help you think of how to start a student-led club, where not just students we work with, but everyone else could also participate. So over to you, Tanvi now. Tanvi, your path has been most fascinating for me as a counselor, because every few weeks we would have discussions about how do you choose a college, the idea of what do I really want to study. And just for everyone to know, like, Tanvi is crazy interested in graphic design, but she's also interested in liberal arts and sciences. So it was always I was always tearing my hair as to figuring out what would you really want to do. Having said that, you were also really interested in, you did really well in math, physics. You chose really high level courses in math. So yeah, I'd love to hear you. And what was that whole journey of discovering the right college? And also tell us a little bit about this unique dual degree program, which sounds very
Okay. I was very confused throughout the whole process. I think I started it thinking I might want to do something in literature because I really like storytelling and working along that line. But then I think in part also due to the whole pandemic and shutdown of everything, I found myself doing a lot of art projects and connecting them with subjects. And I also, in the IB, the subjects that I have chosen are very lenient towards the sciences. So I've always developed my interest there as well. So when it came down to it, ultimately, it was either going to be a liberal arts or a combined project for me. A combined degree for me, sorry, not project. But with the liberal arts, I felt that I really wanted to explore design, and that wasn't an option that was offered there. So I ended up applying to all sorts of combined degrees. And this September, I'm going to be going to Tufts for a combined degree with fine arts and another subject. I haven't finalized that yet. Of course, I have a lot of time, but I'm leaning towards either doing probably computer science or maybe cognitive science, because I really am fascinated by how it will combine with art. So yeah.
Fantastic. And there's so much in your resume that's very artsy. And this question, why do you really want to consider other things and not just do a pure art school program? But I'm glad that it worked out, where you can even perhaps go back to math and physics someday. Or
Yeah.
use it in some ways with the world changing so much, so many interesting careers in design,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
really a possibility. And being
Yeah.
at Tata gives you that advantage because they also have
Yeah.
engineering, they also have many other
Mhm.
things.
Yeah.
So just for the audience, everyone, we will be available at a table. So Aryan, Prisha, Tanvi, if you want to join on table where there's a brand table, it'll be great to have you there for a few minutes and then continue conversations. This year, by the way, if at this time, by the way, our college fair has the platform has expanded in terms of allowing more people at a table. So there could be 50 people. Earlier, we used to have only a limit of 8, which was ridiculous. But anyway, so now happy to have a larger room for discussions. Okay, now I'm going to just do a quick rapid fire round of questions and then wrap up because we are almost done for time. So Aryan, to you, what does getting ready for college really mean to you now? Like you have a few months to go, and I think the world is opening up. The US is sounding very confident, overconfident, and colleges are also sort of seemingly have things in place. Uh, what is it that it really means to you, and what did the COVID year help you reflect about yourself, your personality, and what would you like to sort of bring to the table when you're at Stanford? Okay, maybe I'll pass that to Prisha then. I think Aryan's internet connection is a bit weak. Prisha, you want to go with it?
Yeah, could you please repeat your question?
Yeah, so it's basically about getting ready for college. Like, what are your most exciting things that you're looking forward to do, and how did this COVID year make you reflect about college?
So I am really excited to attend college. So over the last month, I have already joined some of the CMU groups and started interacting with the people I'll be studying with in the next few months. And I think the group of people is so diverse that I am really looking forward to learning from all of their experiences and collaborating with them.
Okay, super. Tanvi, and then we'll go to Aryan. Tanvi, what about you? What did this whole year teach you that the experiences you want when colleges reopen and you're there? What is it
Yeah.
that you
I
experience?
think one of the main things I realized is that you have to start things on your own, like projects and stuff, and especially going for, like, in my case, going for a combined degree, it's going to be important for me to do that. So I'm really looking forward to starting up my own ideas at college and learning from the professors, of course. Yeah.
Aryan, over to you. You want to unmute?
All right. Yeah. Sorry, I cut out earlier. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So I want to continue my educational projects that I started in uh, high school. So my websites that I started, and I joined I joined a team at Stanford that's dedicated to helping underprivileged kids getting into those top level Ivy League schools. So for now, it's just
Yeah, we're having some trouble with Aryan's internet. So I'll just quickly, while we're waiting for him to rejoin, what I'd want to summarize by saying is there are enough opportunities to pursue online, and I'll be at the table, at the EdBrand table. You can meet us there. You could do independent projects, group projects. You could figure out which competitions and Olympiads you'd be interested in. There are several research programs, certification programs which are of good value, and you can learn a lot. There are summer programs which are kind of almost done now, the applications to it. Even teaching helps you learn a lot more, and I think that's a great way to go deeper into subject areas. So like I said, there are student-led clubs which you might be interested to start or join. Even in extracurriculars, there are many ways you can keep engaging online, but hopefully the world is opening up, and I don't know when, but schools in India or wherever you are should also reopen sometime this year. So there are volunteering opportunities. There are a plethora of sort of resources available out there. You can even think of supporting interesting causes and amplifying their issue, becoming their social media ambassador, and sort of doing simple things like that, 1 hour a day, and sort of you get organizations to be heard. Biggest thing you can do and continue to do online is college research, and you'd be surprised how many people are a lot more approachable now, and they understand that the human connection is so important. So feel free to figure out on LinkedIn who do you want to connect to, have a good reason to connect with them, and then go ahead. So again, Aryan, I think you're on now. So why don't you talk about your experience for the year? Okay, I don't know. So anyway, so we'll close now. We'll find you at the tables, and welcome once again to College Fair, and look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.